There we go. Alright. I'm gonna go here. I have to do a little bit of the stream info. Doom. There we go. Check here on Discord. Alright. Everything seems to be set. I managed to change the game category from games and demos to, Doom. Because for those that don't know, um, so for those that don't know, when it comes to more or less streaming directly from from PS4, and everything, it has this thing where like it automatically will change into like certain categories of its own if like say like it doesn't have like a certain name or something like that or whatever. Like it's kind of weird in a way because like like this because like this is a Doom because this is pretty much like a classic Doom you know port remake thing. It's called Doom plus Doom 2. And of course, yeah, it's like, oh, there's no category for that. So it's like either, like you're trying to, have to do things like just Doom or Doom 2, or in this case, like Doom 2 Hell on Earth, because with Doom 2 Hell on Earth, because that's like the one that has like the most follow count things or whatever. Um, so it's like, oh, and like, it's like, oh, it's gonna go to games and demos, and no matter if you try to set it beforehand, for some reason I think the PlayStation like Sony will just automatically change it to whatever. So it's like oh you have to let it do its thing and then like go to like your dashboard or something like that in order to fucking change it to what you want to do. But anyway, so yeah, but that's all said and done about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So as always, everyone, hey yo, my fellow Rumble Maniacs, it's Mr. Rumble Roses here, and welcome to an early installment of a series I like to refer to as Weapons Mod Wednesday. So when it comes to Weapons Mod Wednesday, it's a little thing that I kind of started doing because of people uploading gameplay mods that either have you revisit Doom 1 or Doom 2 with some sort of like gameplay type mod that may change the weapons for kind of slightly like or major like and I kind of figured I'd make that into like its own little thing because weapons Wednesday that sort of thing. And today I'm going to be continuing my little playthrough of Classic Doom with a mod called Counter-Strike Doom Martian Offensive. In the last stream that I did, I basically went through Knee Deep in the Dead, aka Episode 1, and everything, and I am now going to be doing Episode 2. Um, I've been thinking about this a little bit, and I'm not going to be doing Episode 4, aka the short, aka, Die Flesh Consume. I don't know why I was getting that fucking mixed up, but yes, I'm not gonna be doing episode 4 of this game with this mod. So yeah, I'm just gonna focus on, like, the classic 3 episodes of Doom and everything. So there you go. Now, when it comes to this mod, it was made by by the username of AlphaInt2. Just like to call him Alpha for short, but basically this is a demake version of a mod that they made a while back. And it was made, to be played as, like, for what's known as the MBF21. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like a vanilla type of, DHack mod, but it kind of changes things up some, instead of being just like, instead of it being just like a simple skin swap, but still everything, works like, the classic Doom weapons, it actually does a little bit more. Um, and this is actually, and I'd say, like, this is actually a mod that kind of changes the gameplay up a little bit, with this with its weapons in this, because there is no rocket launcher, there is no explosive weapons, no plasma type weapons, or even a BFG. It gets just straight up, like, like weapons that you would see, like in, like, military shooters or whatever, like sniper rifles, assault rifles, things like that. But yeah, when it comes to Alpha's weapons mods that he's done, everything, but when it comes to Alpha's mods, he was kind of do a little bit of a thing where he uploads, like, a Doom 1 variant and a Doom 2 variant of certain mods. Um, like, for example, the Dusk demakes. He has Doom 1, Doom 2. Same with the Titan mod, which I am gonna be doing a playthrough of the Titan demake, I think sometime in the future, but that's not gonna be for a while at most. But yeah, one of the things I kind of noticed is that Alpha likes to do a little thing where he pretty much, like, replaces the weapons, in, like, one version to have, like, like certain little loadout here, but then, like, the other Doom game, they kind of change things up a bit. So it's like, um, I'm trying to think. So I think, like, one thing, for example, is in the Titan demake, um, they make the chain gun as the heavy assault rifle. Um, and I believe in the case of the plasma rifle, they have, like, the lightning gun, and BFG turns into, I think, like, the Gauss cannon and everything, and all that. But yeah, we're gonna be doing episode 2 with the Shores of Hell with this mod. You're gonna do Doom 1 version, and just go from there. Now, I'm gonna do this just for the hell of it. Like, I don't think it's gonna be any real difference, but kind of just play it out like that. Yeah, episode 2, level 1, Deimos Anomaly. Like, we died technically in episode 1, and now we are here. Now, in case if anyone's like randomly curious, that's not something you can do in in this remake itself. That's just like a little like cosmetic thing, you know, for flair. So yeah, shotgun is placed with sawed off. That. Clip over here. Ricky and random armor bonus there. Alright, so now we're going to go back up top because there's a little teleporter thing that appears in that room. I think it's, I want to say like it appears when you press this button. So, yeah, we're gonna go back here, go to the teleporter, this little area. Also, random little FYI, but don't stand in the middle of this, because you will take damage. So, yeah. So, G3 G1. Yeah, this weapon is the plasma rifle replacement. And like I said before, like you know, when it comes to this mod, you know, playing Doom 1 and stuff, definitely like a game changer. Also, got the noise number 69. Yeah, some of the comes to this mod is there are like some sound changes to various little things like say like say for example like when an enemy when an enemy gets hurt, like the demon gets hurt and all that. Um, there's some different sounds, for the player. Doing some environmental sounds and stuff like that too. Like if you hear like the like when the amps throwing fireballs and whatnot, we're gonna have to actually add some good sound to it. And there we go. The most anomaly is done. So now we're going to the demon area. AKA the maze of this episode. And as I like to be able to do when it comes to like, new levels and stuff, when I go into like, next level of something, I always like to do a hard save. So I can so I can have like, the fresh start, be like, hey, start here. And then another thing I like to be able to do is when I get keys of some kind, I always like to do my little like personal save. I always like to do a little quick save, to kind of like act like a little checkpoint type of thing. Like, oh, okay, like I got the key, I got a key card. Time to save my game, save my game some sort of way. But I do like a quick save instead of a hard save. It's kind of one of those like quote-unquote unwritten rules, or something like that. But still something like about do every now and then, where it's like I said, it's go to a new level, do a hard save. If you have the ability to do any quick save it, do it from time to time. But like say, if you start a new level and you get shot at the wazoo, and you got like say you got some enemies that's gonna be like looking right at you. And they're gonna pose a problem, take care of that, make those priority targets first, and then save, and then go from there. And because I'm playing Doom 1, I'm doing this thing, things episodically. I dedicate streams to, I pretty much like do a thing where I dedicate streams to, like certain episodes. And that's if it's like, maybe like say so fucking small that they can build like oh, okay, I can build another little thing in or something. Or or unless if it's like oh like I'm on episodic type level and I unfortunately can't build to fucking unfortunately, I can't build forgot any progress, so it's like, yeah, I'm gonna save it here, and then, continue on from there, and all that. So, yeah. But as you can see, You know, knife is pretty much replacing the fist. Pistol, you know, still a pistol, but you know, it's different than you know, normal one. And there's a little reload image for that. Like I said, this, you know, this weapon here replaces the plasma rifle. So again, you know, like it definitely, you know, makes things. It definitely changes up, you know, to get, you know, the style, you know, gameplay style and all that. So. Yeah, I will say, like, I do like the fact that, that this pistol acts, you know, differently, where it's like, oh, you can, you know, it's one where it's basically a pistol that you can't both, like, hold down, you know, you have to, like, actually tap, which I actually like, you know, um, because under normal circumstances, you know, and everything, if you tap your attack keys, you can basically have like 100% accuracy with, you know, like doing just normal weaponry. But if you hold it down, then your shots become inaccurate, you know, like the longer you hold down, more or less. Yeah, definitely not the wisest thing to always go for, you know, for melee attacks on some enemies. But sometimes you kind of feel like you have no choice. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm like a psychic mind reader or whatever, but I'm just gonna say it's more like a gut feeling. But um, but I have like this random gut feeling that probably, you know, there might be like you know, that one random person or two that would ask the question of, have I ever played Counter-Strike before? And the answer is honestly no. Like I have never played the Counter-Strike games before. I don't really see myself playing those games because they're mostly going to be just like, you know, multiplayer, shoot 'em up stuff, and um, like I've seen like stuff in action, but it's just not really my thing. Because there's only like certain things that I would really play if it, that's that's multiplayer exclusive, and I'm not really into like the military looking stuff or whatever. However you want to refer to it. Like I'm not really into the Counter-Strike stuff like that. And like the only time I ever really did anything was the only time I ever did anything was like Counter-Strike related stuff. Not counting like like Doom mods and stuff like that, but like just like actually using the games themselves. Was downloading. I think it was like downloading and it's pretty much like installing. I think it's like Counter-Strike Source because back when I used to play Gmod, aka Gary's Mod, those that don't know what that is. There were some like like workshops, mods and things like that needed like certain things from certain games. And just remember, like, some of them have to be involving Counter-Strike stuff. I was like, okay, well, I have to, I have no real choice but to try and get this, and then, use it so that way I don't have, like, like missing textures, like giant fucking errors, or invisible shit that I can't be able to really see. Things like that. I guess like the other way I kind of put it is I've been known to use the game like Counter-Strike stuff for the most part as resources for other things. Which no, that's not like illegal or whatever. It's not gonna get me banned or stuff like that. Because it's just not. I have. I don't know if I want to say like every single Counter-Strike game on PC, but like I have. But I remember like a long time ago, a friend of mine gifted me, I think it was like the Valve collection or something like that, and it had like a bunch of games on it. I think it's like everything. I think the Counter-Strike games were one of those like few rare things that's like, oh, it comes in the package. I love good old infighting. I always kind of randomly wondered about like what it would be like if like the Berserk, in classic Doom, was in Counter-Strike. Like imagine how that would be, in that game. You just like, it's just like fucking, you're either like, wanting to be stealthy, or you don't have enough ammo for your weapons or whatever, you just pull out a knife, and then it's like, oh, this guy, they're like, oh, this person, defenseless, doesn't really have like a weapon, like a weapon, to shoot with or whatever, and all of a sudden, you just hit him with a knife and just kill him in one shot or something. like, you know, you hit an enemy, you hit an enemy like that, and then they just fly out, just, you know, exploding jibs. Alright. Alright, so if we're in this room, if you look at the wall, if you look at, not the wall, the ceiling, you'll notice that, you'll notice like, you know, these, I guess you can call them lights, but if you look at the pattern and everything, you can't really see it on the map, but if you look at the pattern, and then, well, if you follow it, you know, in this little pool thing here, you'll pretty much make like a little bridge, and that'll allow you to get the yellow key. Well, then again, maybe there's no actual like, no noise changes that didn't go, but you know, it's still. Getting some decent ammo. Alright, so there's the exit, but we need to make a bridge to get over there. To do that, we have to find a and yes, these crushers can, you know, help these enemies. Very nice, very nice. actually replacing the chainsaw. It's funny enough, at one point in time, and everything, like, you know, like, older versions of, the Kex port and everything, um, the revolver could have infinite ammo. Which I will say, like, I did miss some of the features that you could be able to do with some of the mods and stuff like back then, because, like, for example, in the Blork demake mod, the weapon that replaced the chainsaw, you could pretty much you can pretty much use that infinitely without having to worry about, you know, spinning ammo, which, like in this case, it uses pistol ammo, but I think takes a little bit more than a revolver or something like that. But one of the things that I really I really enjoyed about, you know, the older versions of the Kex board and whatnot, is when I would play the Titan demake mod, and I would get, like, you know, some, like, a Berserk, and I can just literally just one punch everything. Alright, so there. Key. Door. Alright, so now we got all 3 keys. Now we can go towards the red door. Yeah, that's a little example right there of, you know, take care of enemies that are in your face that's gonna cause you problems. So that way you don't get, like, you know, surprisingly overwhelmed or whatever. Gotta love the good old case of infighting. I kind of wish, like, you know, some of the, I kind of wish other games, like, the other classic games had, infighting. I was about to say, like, did I hear a zombie man shoot? Cause that was weird. Alright, so next shotgun shells. I'll have something that I can use to replace the pistol with. Even though I also had, you know, the revolver, but still. Not really gonna worry about the tech and evens. Alright, so rad suit. It's always good to, you know, watch where your bullets go, or something like that. Yeah, the one thing I like about this port is that the crosshair actually can be helpful. I mean, not just like be like the whole like, oh, you know, you can sort of like, you know, where your shot's gonna land, but um, I'm talking more or less about the you know, the changing, the changing, you know, like color and, you know, the intensity of it. Because like, you know, normally it'd be like, oh, it's gonna be red, you know, and everything like that, which, you know, it's fine, it's normal. But once it gets like a little bit like thicker, okay, well actually in this case it's green, but like, so you go here, we go from like green, yellow, you know, yellow actually means that, you know, you got something. Alright, got the blue key. Pull some of this. Gotta love it. Alright, so there we go. Back over here. Hit this. Get backpack. Now that we got the backpack, we can go and get more ammo. You can go beyond. When you get a backpack once, your max ammo gets doubled out and gets capacity. So like, bullets go from 200 to 400, shells go from 50 to 100. Same with rockets, and then cell ammo type stuff goes from 300 to 600. Yeah, what's always really good. Alright, now we got here. And do this. So yeah, now we're on episode 2, met Fawa, called Demos Live. Now, one thing always worth mentioning. See this, this little light effect thing here? Just do that, you get a little secret area here. Might as well make sure the pinkies whiff, so that way they can be able to, not so you don't take damage. You don't take damage from the chompers. So yeah, pretty much that is the crusher. That's why you can see all the jibs right there. It's pretty much the thing where you know, like it's like a fast crusher, type of thing. But once the entity gets trapped underneath it, it's kind of like slowly but surely like crushes them, and thus pretty much freezes them in place. Ew. It's like, hey, motherfucker, I was reloading. Just for flavor. Alright, so blue door there. Alright, go back here. That will lower down the elevator. There's blue key card. Hit this to this area. I was trying to get the Cacodemon stuck in place, that would crush it and kill it. I love it. Save those. Alright. Alright, so over here. I believe this might be a fast crusher, so like I think when something gets trapped underneath it, it doesn't become slow and, you know, crush them until they die. And there you go. Crush the Baron. It's over here. Alright, so now we got the Scout, which is more or less like the rocket launcher replacement. Ow, ow. And that's why you don't do that. Hey, ouch. Like, ouch, my everything. Making progress, sorry, buddy. Oh, yeah, definitely need some more bullet ammo. And he was left. Here comes Command Center. Back over here. Monster closet. Then over here. Perhaps I'm thinking of a different area. Knock your ass to death, boy. Alright, so once you go up here, go back down a little bit because there are hers. After I got nommed in the face. You gotta know which one is being nommed in the face or nommed in the ass. I just slowed. But yeah, I think some of you guys could probably tell why I've said before, where it's like, you know, when you play Ultimate Doom, you know, or Doom VOD, you're like, whatever was this VOD, you know, like it definitely changes the playstyle up some. Halls of the Damned. Alright, so we get this. Floor's gonna lower. Alright, so when it comes to this level, we have to get all three of the main keys, because this is a lock colored door after a lock colored door after a lock colored door. Now, because there's three different keys, they're gonna be in like 3 different areas. Alright, so we got the first key. Yeah, I got the first key, which is the blue key. Not too bad. I always want to say, in a sense, that probably like the most annoying key to get, I think, is going to be like the red one. Again, use the switch. Pretty much only goes for that area over there. Hello. Dude, where did you come from? Ah, you opened up early earlier than I anticipated. Lion goggles. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot to go get the yellow key. Where's that? Where am I going? Where am I after? So yeah, pretty much get the yellow keys in this little area over here. Up there. Alright. Seriously. I was like, I can't leave. I can't leave with a fucking, like, Baron and Pinky. Well, at least I got the ammo for that. In case anyone's like randomly wondering what the deal is, basically there's like two pinkies stuck inside each other, so they can't move. spawning that. Et tu me savon. Alright, so... Alright. Here. And of course, random ass viewer bot. It's also it's kind of amazing at times where it's like, where it's like they somehow able to like sneak by, the auto ban thing, whatever, or like auto mod and shit like that. Don't need to go in there. And there's all the rest now. And now the finale of episode 2, which is Tower of Babel. we go. And there we go. Use regular military type weapons to take down a gigantic cyber demon boss. You've done it. The hideous cyber demon lord that ruled the Lost Deimos base has been slain, and you are triumphant. But where are you? You climb to the edge of the moon and look down to see the awful truth. Deimos floats above hell itself. You've never heard of anyone escaping from hell, but you'll make the bastards start to even hear of you. Quickly, you rappel down to the surface of hell. Now it's on to the final chapter of Doom, Inferno. And yep, there's the sight to see. So yeah, like I said, this is going to be an episodic type thing. You know, this is them playing Doom 1. Again, I am not going to be playing episode 4 that I flash consumed with this mod. You know, like I'm not really that much of a big fan of playing it a whole lot. So yeah, but there we go. You know, that was episode 2, The Shores of Hell, with the Counter-Strike Martian Offensive, you know, demake mod. Yeah. I'm going to end it here. I'm also going to try to see if I can raid someone. I would be raid a certain friendo, but apparently he's not feeling 100%. I think because he was. Cause I remember him saying on the appearance yesterday that like he had like a heat stroke type thing or something. Because like it was helium hot in his neck of the woods. Alright. I fucking hate this AMD Catalyst install manager. It's like, so it comes up at random. I'm always talking about, hey, you know, install this, even like I was trying to install it at one point in time, but still, you know, still does that shit. But it's like, you know, no matter what I do, it's like, you know, it still will not go away and it'll just come up at random at times. So, random little story. While I'm trying, you know, to like wrap up and everything. At one random point in time, apparently I had a bit of an issue with my streaming software that I was known to use for PC streaming called Action. It wasn't anything like too high tech. It wasn't like, you know, OBS or, you know, whatever. But it's one of those things where it's like, you know, it was simple enough and it would get the job done in terms of like, you know, allowing, you know, someone's able to stream, you know, without having to worry about like, oh, you know, all the, you know, the fancy tech and, you know, and shit like that, you know, because that it was just, you know, it was something simple, you know, so you could do that. It's like, oh, you can be able to do that. You can, you know, just go from there. You know, it's pretty much simple stuff. You know, that's what I'm trying to get at. Well, I think one random day, as I was thinking about like, you know, trying to stream something, when I was trying, I think I was like, you know, like doing some stuff and things, and I had noticed that as soon as I hit as soon as I hit the certain button, that everything was, you know, so damn slow that it made everything feel like it made everything feel like like a crawl. Um, And I think like I remember looking at the options and stuff like that. Just kind of looking at the setup, and I noticed that something. Well, I can't remember what the name of it was, but there was something that was completely different that should not have been a thing. And so I was trying to figure like, oh, what do I need to do, to fix this? How do I get that or whatever? But and I think I think it was like the AM, like something involved with like the AMD stuff. It was like this, that, and the other. And I tried to build, to like down. I tried like install and everything like that. Thinking I was like, oh, maybe it'll help, but I don't think it did. Like either like I don't think it did, or I just like I want to say like maybe like randomly uninstalled and reinstalled, and somehow everything was working again. But now, like I said, now and I don't know why this is a thing, but every now and then when I least expect it, um, I'll go like the AMD Catalyst install manager thing, and I sadly seem to be unable to get rid of it because like it's not like it seems to be like not anywhere that I can find, but like oh get the fucking stop and everything, and it's like oh why don't you just try and install or whatever. But like I said, I tried that, but it still does not go away. It almost makes me kind of glad that I'm not doing PC streams anymore with with shit like this going on. Like, we speak you stop, but I don't know if again. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, we are going to end and everything, and we are going to raid someone cause I like being able to raid people after my streams. It just added the warp mod. Well, first off, hello there, Lambda. Good to see you. You'll be nice and all that, but I don't know what you're really talking about unless you're talking about something that got added into the Kex port and everything. But but yeah, I am actually about to end because I had just completed episode 2 of Doom 1 with the Counter-Strike Martian Defense Offensive Demake mod. So, yeah. But yeah, so my next planned stream, if everything goes well, will hopefully be tomorrow, aka Thursday. Um, and what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be trying to play a little bit of Night Rain because, because for one, I kind of want to take a slight little break from main Elden Ring, and two, I kind of want to work. I'm gonna try to like see if I can, work on getting the stuff so I can get to the Howler Tree area to get the summon, to get the Ash summon that I want for my Melania build and everything. Because I want to build. I want to do that. And hopefully find out like what kind of wart stuff it needs. So I can get everything upgraded and all that. But but yeah. But yeah, though, but yeah, I was want to say as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really and truly appreciate it. If you enjoy what you saw today and watch this on Twitch, feel free to give the channel a follow and become a Rumble Maniac today. If you want to follow me anywhere else online, you can check out my YouTube channel, give it a sub and all the usual good stuff, and feel free to follow me on Twitter as well. Can we about to raid this person? Yes, we can. Alright, so until I see y'all in the next video or live stream, as always, take care everybody, and I hope you all have a good week or weekend.